Here we are live on my impromptu Twitter party today. I'm really excited to be doing this. I'm actually buzzing quite a bit. I really hope that you can hear me okay. I'm just going to check that I've got a chat box open in case people want to ask any questions. I think you should be able to see a chat functionality that you can type into. So feel free to say hi and let me know there are people there if you're watching live. And I know that lots of people are going to be watching the recording. So apologies if I'm talking to you and you're watching the recording and you're not here live. But hopefully you'll be able to join me next time that I do a live event just like this. So what a day it has been. Today, to give you some background, if you haven't been with me on this wild ride, I posted about getting a Twitter list started in one of my Facebook groups, and by lunchtime I had a crazy 100+ replies of people to add to lists and all the rest of it, and a lot of questions came up. You guys have a lot of questions, and I really wanted to make sure that I gave you the opportunity to have those questions answered properly. So I don't want to keep you too long. I know that time is precious, and I completely unleashed this on you in an unexpected way. But I wanted to talk through a bit about how I use Twitter and the success that I've had with it, and to show you how you can set up those all-important lists and start working the crowd. So let's dive right in. I'm going to keep looking over to my side because I've got some notes here so that I don't forget anything. And as I say, if there's anything you want to ask, you are welcome to chat, if the chat's even working. I don't even know. I have my little @ sign here. That was a Christmas present from my brother-in-law, and I loved it when he gave me that. So I've got my @ sign to keep me company today. Okay, so I'm going to start by saying the first thing I want to say is that Twitter is your untapped resource. It really is a place where you can go find clients, find hot leads, find joint venture partners, find new friends, suppliers, anything you could imagine. I've even known a couple who met on Twitter and then went on to get married. So anything is possible in the world of Twitter. It is not just a kind of frivolous place to waste time. It's not just for water cooler moments. It's actually something that people really, really want to get value out of, but they don't necessarily know how. And that's my job. That's what I want to share with you, is how to do that. So my name is Laura. For those, if you don't know me, I'm Laura Hassan, and I have built my business, which is all online, entirely online, largely or pretty much entirely from my time on Twitter and the activity that I conduct there. Now, that might sound a little bit crazy and it might sound unbelievable, but my time that I spend on Twitter, I'll tell you this right now up front, is less than 15 minutes a day. Some days significantly less than that. It's less than 15 minutes a day. I have, I think, about 28,500 followers right now. That fluctuates. It goes up, it goes down, it changes depending on whatever's happening in the world of Twitter and how active I've been. But the fantastic thing that I love about Twitter is the conversations that I can have, the people that I can reach, and the opportunities that are available to me, because I have direct access to people, and it's just so cool to have that opportunity to dive right in. And the best thing is the fact that your competitors and your colleagues, or however you want to refer to them, they don't know about this. They don't know about the opportunity that Twitter presents. People know that they should be on Twitter, and I'm probably imagining that you can relate to the feeling of, yeah, I've got a Twitter account. What else? You know, what else do I need to know? But it's so much more than just having an account. Just being there isn't enough. You've really got to show up, you've got to be consistent, and you've got to give value to people. And the way to do that is, the hardest thing is the fact that Twitter feels noisy. So I want to help you find a way that you can cut through the noise on Twitter and really get your message into the hands of the people who need it, because they are there waiting to hear from you. Okay. Now, the biggest thing that most entrepreneurs miss when it comes to Twitter is the fact that it is not a place to go and sell. If you go onto Twitter and you just talk about yourself and you just put out outgoing stuff all the time and you don't engage with anybody, you're not going to have any success. People are going to really not be interested. So the opportunity that Twitter presents to you as an entrepreneur is personal connection. And by personal connection, I really do mean personal connection, like one-to-one with somebody, conversation. Those things lead on to goodness knows what. I have a whole host of tips and tricks and strategies that I use to keep my account interesting and to engage new followers all the time. But the top thing that I want to talk to you about today, that is, I would not be able to even begin to manage my Twitter account effectively if it was not for my brilliant use of Twitter lists. Now, I know that you're probably familiar with list building in terms of capturing emails and all the rest of it. This is a different form of list building. We're talking Twitter lists. And the reason that it's valuable is because, as I've already said, Twitter's noisy, and I'm not even going to try and pretend it's anything other than that. There are a lot of people on Twitter. There are a lot of spam accounts. There are a lot of people who tweet and they don't know what they're doing. And you can look at your newsfeed sometimes and it can just be like, what am I doing here? You know, why do I want to waste my time here? Time is precious. So what we're going to do is we're going to cultivate a way for you to find people who you want to talk to, and you're going to put them into a list, and then you're going to cut out the rest of the noise on Twitter. It's going to get you straight into the meaty stuff, connecting with the people who you need and who need you, and ignoring everything else. Hopefully that sounds good. So this is really the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Twitter strategy, and I really want to keep this nice and short for you. As I said, I know that time is precious, and I know that I unleashed this really unexpectedly on you, so thank you firstly for turning up. But I want to make sure that I give you something really valuable that you can action right away, and then you can come back to me and tell me that it's working for you, because it will work for you if you follow what I'm telling you. I'm going to share my screen with you in a moment, and I'm going to show you how I set up my Twitter list. And the really cool thing that I want to talk to you about is that once you've got your lists in place, everything else is easy, and it will transform how you spend your time on Twitter every day. So I can probably imagine if you've got a Twitter account right now already, you probably spend a little bit of time each day on Twitter. You probably reply to things. You probably look for @mentions and bits and pieces like that, which is great. But we want to take it to the next level. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, I am going to log myself into Twitter. Let me just bring a window across to do that. And I'm going to show you my Twitter account behind the scenes. So you're getting extra value behind the scenes stuff here. Okay. All right, so let's hop into behind the scenes mode. Thanks for sticking with me for a second. Screen share. And I want to share this one with you. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen right now. This is my Twitter account, and you can see here just the bare outline of everything to do with what Twitter looks like when you go to twitter.com. Now, I don't generally tweet from twitter.com. I use a Twitter client, which you will be able to figure out. I'll talk to you about that in a little while. You'll be able to use that. Okay, it's going to be really useful. Now, what we want to look at today is lists. So I'm going to click on me firstly up here. This takes you to my Twitter profile. Oh, I can't wait to overhaul this. I'm going through a rebranding exercise at the moment. It's going to look completely different. So over here on the right of this top bar that tells you all your stats, you know, how many tweets, la la la, how many followers, all the rest of it. If you click on more, this drop down, there's a little box called lists. I never know why they do this. They hide it under more. There's nothing else under that more apart from lists. It should just have lists up there. Anyway, once you've logged into your account, come into this page and click on lists. So you can see here that I've got some lists down here. Some of them are new. Some of them are things I've had for ages. Some of them, you'll see I've got a little padlock over this one because it's one that is not public. People can't see that. So this is a list of people I just followed, and I just add my newly followed people in there, and I don't want it to be public because I'm not necessarily keen to be sharing that with everybody. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk through how to create a list, how to add somebody to a list, and how to manage your list from there on. Over here on the right, you can see create new list. I'm going to call this the Twitter test list, just as a demo. You can call it anything you like. I think you have up to 25 characters to use for the list name. You can add a description if you want to. If it's a public list that you want people to follow, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute because that's a good strategy to adopt if you want to do that, I advise using a description. If it's just for your own benefit, you don't necessarily need to do that. I'm not going to put anything in just now because I'm not really needing to do that, but I'm going to do this as a public list and I'm going to save my list. Now it tells me my list is created and it brings me into this next menu, so it tells me to find people to add to my list. So I can type in here it comes up straight away with somebody that I've searched for before, my friend James Blute. So I'm going to search for him and it comes up with James up here. James is one of my online buddies who I actually met through Twitter. He is the perfect example of one of the brilliant connections that I made through Twitter years ago actually. James and I have we've been running joint venture together numerous times, and he's fantastic to work with, and I know he's such a good friend, and all thanks to Twitter. So now that I've clicked on, these are the results. If I click on this cog next to the name of the person, I get all these options, and this third one down is to add or remove from a list. So if I do this now, you can see all my lists here. I can it's added that 4 times. I don't know why. There's obviously a glitch running. This happens with Twitter sometimes. It shows that 4 times even though you've only added it once. I can add him to my Twitter test list. He'll get a notification that he's been added there. And this is another thing to mention, that when you add somebody to a public list, they get told. They get a notification, either an email or a pop-up or however they get their notifications. They get told that they're getting added to a list. And so if somebody adds me to a list, and it's a list of amazing people I met on Twitter, it's a bit of an ego boost. So I'll go and connect with that person and say, thanks for adding me to that list, or I'll check out who else is in the list, and I might follow the list as well, which we'll talk about in a moment. But you can use it as a flattery strategy. So if you want to get on somebody's radar, you might want to think about what you call your list and who you add to that. So for example, that's a great example of what I can do. So now the other thing I can do, if I just click back to my home, now I've got that list, is I can click on, this is my main newsfeed of everybody who I'm probably not particularly interested in this whole thing because I have lists. But I may want to click on someone, and if they're interesting to me, from here, again, I can click on that cog and add them to a list. So I can add them to anything I want, any of my lists, but again, I'm using Twitter test list. So that person now will get a notification that I've done that. And you can add anybody to your list, okay? So that's a rough overview on how to do it. So if I go back into me and I want to manage my lists, and come back onto this silly hidden treasure trail here, click on lists, and I can see firstly I've got all these fake ones that I don't want to use. But Twitter test list, we can now see that's got 2 members in it. If I click on that list, it will take me in to find the, oh, it's clicked on the wrong one. Twitter test list, 2 people. Let's click on another one because that's obviously glitching out. Okay, so I'm going to click on something down here. I'm actually going to click on, where is it? The one I created today that I added all the people who had questions in. B-School Fame in 140. That was from today. Okay, so I added 63 people to this list today. It has 67 people subscribed to it. So that means all these people, and I can click this to see who has subscribed to it. Anybody who subscribes to my list sees all these tweets from all the members of the list in their newsfeed. So you can see here, these people have subscribed to the list. They want to see who else is tweeting in that list, and they may connect to people too who are in that list. So it's a really good way of finding people. Now, if I wanted to find a list to follow, because I gave this link to people to come and follow it, these are all the people who are inside it. If I'm following that list, like I say, I see all of these tweets in my newsfeed, even if I'm not following them. So I don't have to follow somebody to keep up with their updates. That's especially useful. I spoke to a couple of people today who said they'd hit follow limits, which meant they couldn't follow anybody else. It's a brilliant way of keeping connected with people until you can follow them. So you could even make a list of people you want to follow when you're allowed to follow more people. So now, if I want to find a list, I might want to find a list about Twitter. So let's just click on Twitter, for example, and see what search results come up. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. What I can find, photos, people, tweets, etc., etc. And sometimes it will come up with a list. You'll see a list of people, and you can find things that way to follow. Another way to do it is to click on people that come up under your results. Click on somebody interesting. So obviously we've got here Twitter. And then if I go to their account, I can see their list. So this is, again, I'm looking at somebody else's list. I'm looking at, obviously, Twitter's own list here. This isn't going to take them to my lists. It's going to take me to their lists. So this is the list that they're subscribed to. So this is the list they're following. And this is the list they're a member of. So this is the list they've been added to. This is a really good indication of whether somebody's legitimate or not. If you see somebody with like thousands and thousands of followers, and you go through to see what lists they've been added to. If they haven't been added to any lists or very few lists, you know that they're probably just a automated account, and that can be the case, which is rather frustrating. But this can be a really, really good way to find things. If you're looking for something to do with Twitter, this could be a really great way to find other things. So here we go. Here's one, social networks. The social networks we love. That's the description. And you can see the members of that list in a list itself, or you can see the tweets. So I've got the list there, and again, if I click back to show you all the tweets, if I followed that list, if I subscribed to that now, I'd see all these tweets in my newsfeed. So I don't want to get too in depth into that, but I just wanted to show you basically how to set up a list, how to add people to a list, and the same way you can remove or delete people from a list. So if I come back to myself again, I wonder if that list's going to play ball with me yet. Twitter test list didn't seem to be playing. It's not playing with me. It doesn't want to play with me. If I come down here again, say B-School Feynman 140. Again, this was today. So I've got all the tweets here. If I look at the members, if there was somebody I wanted to remove from this group, in your own time, internet, if I wanted to remove somebody from this group, I would just click on the cog and again add or remove them from lists, and this will show me all the lists that they're in, and I can just untick the box and then close that, and it will remove them from my list. So that should be straightforward enough for you, I would like to think. This is, as I say, the tip of the iceberg. The next thing that you're going to want to do is, instead of when you come onto Twitter, and I don't know if you're using twitter.com to look at Twitter, or whether you're using something else to check Twitter, but you don't want to be looking at this. This is my main newsfeed. I follow 8,800 people. That's a very nice round number for this occasion. I'm following that many people. I don't really have any interest. You'll see, like, there's 14 new tweets. If I click that, in seconds, there'll be another notification that there's loads more tweets. If I was looking at that on a mobile app, it would just be pinging down the page so fast that I wouldn't even be able to keep up with it. I have no interest in looking at that. So instead of looking at that, I come into me, I come into more, and I can look at my lists, and I can find the people that I want to talk to. So it might be, I've got Twitter party peeps over here. This is something different than I did. I can come over here and look at this as a news feed. These are people I've connected with for some specific reason. So we already are connected, and I have something relevant to share with them or to talk to them about. And I can just jump into conversation here with people I already know. I'm not wading through all that noise to find people when I have these lists already done all the hard work for me. It's not difficult when you follow somebody or you find somebody on Twitter to just add them to a list. If you make that just par for the course of what you do, this makes your life so easy. And this is a brilliant example of being really effective on Twitter. And this is why I can conduct my Twitter activity in 15 minutes a day or less. And that's so important. I did not grow my following up to these tens of thousands numbers by sitting at my computer all day, every day on Twitter, desperate for people to follow me. I did it by engaging, being personal, using the list to not just engage with people once, but repeatedly, lots of times, and following up. Like if somebody asked me for something and I gave them some help, I'd go back to them later and say, how did that work out for you? So it's a really good example of how you can build a true relationship on Twitter. Now, the other thing that I'll mention quickly is if I go, I've just clicked in the wrong place, if I come over here, my bio, you'll see I have a picture, I have my name prominently positioned, and I have a bio description along with my website link. This really tells people, it's very important to be concise with your bio, it really tells people what it is that I do. And if I connect with the right people and I engage and show that I'm really helpful and demonstrate that I know my stuff, I get a lot of hot leads from the time that I'm spending doing this, and a lot of inquiries and a lot of clients. At the moment, my stats, I think, are around 85% of my traffic comes through Twitter. That's not an overestimation, it's not an exaggeration, it is just how it is. That's how much of my traffic comes to me through Twitter. So already, from this 24 minutes we've been on this short hangout call, you have learned more than your competitors have any hope of ever knowing, unless they find me to come and tell them this. It's not rocket science. However, it takes a really careful jigsaw approach to put all the pieces together to help you get a really, really solid strategy that will see you soaring your way through Twitter. I'm also aware that you might be feeling like, oh my goodness, I've just started on Twitter and pretty much everything you just said sounded foreign to me. If that's the case, then don't worry, because I have a whole plan in place of doing real basics guides to getting you to grips with all the simple bottom level stuff on Twitter so that you can jump into the meaty stuff. And now about the meaty stuff. So, of course, the whole thing, the whole reason as to why I have been asking these questions today and been trying to offer help is because I have something amazing to share with you. And I created a course earlier this year called Fame in 140, and I will take you and give you a show of that now. Fame in 140 is my Twitter everything course. It is my absolute blueprint to showing you how Twitter can get you what you need in a very short amount of time. As I said, I spend 15 minutes a day or less. You might think that Twitter is just a place for hanging out, water cooler stuff, and not for getting clients or basically making money. But, like I said, and this that's slightly out of date, 80% of my traffic and business comes directly from the time that I spend connecting on Twitter. That is not an exaggeration. As I said, this is a true statistic. It's higher at the moment because I've been engaging recently a lot more than I had been over the summer. I'm up to 85% of my referral traffic comes directly from Twitter, and that is amazing. That's absolutely incredible. So I have worked with hundreds of one-on-one clients for years, helping them devise personalized strategies, make connections that are really, really valuable, and find their hidden opportunities. But what I wanted to do was to create this whole package of everything I know and put it into an online course that allows you to acquire your own level of fame in 140 characters. That's where that name comes from. A tweet is 140 characters. In the comfort of your own home, learning on the go, at your own pace, whatever it is. Now, the good thing about what I'm doing with Fame in 140 is I launched this, like I say, earlier in the year, and we did a run-through, a live run-through, molding the content. What I'm about to do now is add extra value to it. So there's a whole heap of extra bonuses coming in the next couple of weeks, which I'm really excited about and I'm going to tell you about in a moment. And as a result of that, I'm holding this introductory price, which I'll tell you about in a moment, until the middle of next week. And that's exactly why I wanted to tell you about this today, because this is going to be a lasting resource. This is not a set and forget program for me. It's not something that I've made and I'm going to walk away from. I'm completely invested. It's totally in my interest to help as many people as possible through Fame in 140, because it means that I don't need to spend all that time working one-to-one with people. People get much better value out of my time by working through Feynman 140. So what is Feynman 140? Basically, it is a system, 6 modules, completely step by step. It will walk you through my absolutely time and again proven system for success on Twitter. And success, like I say, it might be an amount of followers that you have, it might be brand awareness, it might be sales. It means different things to different people. We'll use videos, worksheets, and activities to really catapult you to success. You get 24/7 access. Everything's completely downloadable, so you can take it with you if you're on the move. You can access it where and when you want. And you get 24/7 access to our amazing online community, which helps you implement and refine everything you're learning here in Feynman 140 with your awesome friends. So, who is Feynman 140 for? It is for people who realize that Twitter is not only a powerful way to leverage your conversations, but an essential part of your online activity. And if we're honest, you're probably not feeling so hot about that right now. You're also ready to commit and up your game, so you want a tried and proven system to follow that promises results in exchange for your efforts. You don't want to spend time, money, and energy on something that isn't going to work for you. I can tell you 100% hands down, if you follow these materials, you will get results. You're enthusiastic, ready to learn, and open-minded about everything you thought you knew about Twitter so far. That part is really important because I'm going to show you Twitter in a way that you didn't even know it could be possible for it to exist. And you'd love nothing more than a group of like-minded folk riding sidecar with you on your rise to fame in 140. I've popped there that you want to learn how to use Twitter effectively in just 15 minutes each day, because that is my promise to you. Like, while you're learning, it's going to take more than 15 minutes. Be prepared, and I'll be upfront about that. But once you've got these concepts and you really have them, you know, you're just going to feel so good about it. I love the time that I spend on Twitter. It's one of the highlights of my working day. And people ask me often, you know, oh, don't you get lonely working at home? It's like, no, I've got thousands of people to talk to all the time. And lots of them end up giving me money, so that's even better. So here's some of my VIPs and what they have to say in the Facebook group. I'm not going to read all that to you. You can go and read it for yourself. I have some testimonials from people that I've worked with who are all raving about what we've done when we've worked one-to-one or through Feynman 140 together. And here's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to connect with new clients, customers, and joint venture partners. I already mentioned my buddy James. He is somebody I value so highly. And I'm going to teach you how to meet people like James, or even James himself. You're going to engage your audience, keep them asking for more. They're going to come to you as the go-to person, and that's something else that I've listed here because it's just such an opportunity to establish yourself as the expert in your niche. You're going to let your products and services completely sell themselves. You're not going to be ramming sales tweets down anybody's throat, and you're going to feel really good about it. You're going to know which numbers matter and why. We're not interested in how many thousands of followers you can get in how many short a time period. It's really much more about going deep into personal connection. You're going to have a completely awesome content strategy, and you're going to build an essential toolkit that helps you practice everything you learn with complete ease. Now, there's a breakdown of the modules that are included in Feynman 140. We have reverse marketing, which is all about never selling on Twitter and building your brand. The numbers game, which I mentioned before, how to know what numbers to worry about and which numbers we don't need to worry about. Working the crowd, and we'll talk through the golden rules. We'll go way deep into lists, and lists starts to sound like a funny word because I say it so much, but this really is lists on steroids. And we'll talk about automation as well. That was something that people had a lot of questions about today. Content strategy, that is a big one. I love helping people with the content strategy, the types of content that people love, and how and when to share it. And of course, rookie mistakes. That's a really important thing, actually. Being the hero, and very much focused on who you connect with and how you add value. And finally, your toolkit. So how to draw everything together in a sleek and easy to use package. And that's going to be something that you're going to stick with. And not only are you going to be able to use these tools to work with Twitter, but you're going to be able to use them for any social platform or any online activity that you conduct, because you're learning things that go across all kinds of platforms. This is how to connect online. It's not just how to connect on Twitter. So the bonuses. First bonus. Bonus videos of a training mini-series, which has been something I've been giving away for quite a long time, and I've now decided it's far too valuable to give away for free. So it's going in behind closed doors on Fame 140. It's going to allow you to get your account completely prepped and ready for Fame. It includes overhauling and revising your all-important Twitter bio, ditching the Twitter myths, and learning to talk the Twitter lingo. Wow, I have a typo. Bonus 2, done for you PDF worksheets and templates that are going to be things that are going to help you on your way. Bonus number 3, exclusive access to the Fame in 140 VIP Facebook group, where I am heavily involved in answering questions and giving support. And bonus number 4, oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this one. Nikki Elledge Brown. I love that girl. She is over in Hawaii. She is the communication stylist. Nikki and we have a date via Skype next week to record this bonus, which is called Style in 140. How to say more with less. It's all about how to be super cool when you are tweeting and how to speak to your peeps. So, the big question, the payment choices. Now, you have 2 choices. You can pay once for $497 US, or you can spread your payments over 3 months for $179 each month for 3 months. However, as you can see this ticking clock, you have just under 7 days to grab this at this price before it goes up. It's going up in price because I'm adding value to it constantly, and I'm going to continue to do so. So it will never be on sale again at $497. This is your only chance to grab it at that price. I would like to point out at this point the value that I'm offering, $497. I have spent single days in corporate offices for double the price of this online course. Those people then have to consume and absorb everything I tell them in that one day. They don't have any follow-up, and they don't have any opportunity to ask me questions or anything else because I've moved on to other clients. And you have pretty much the opportunity to have me in your back pocket as your personal Twitter consultant via the Facebook group for the duration, the life of this course. I'm not going away. The course is not going away. And I want to help you. I want you to have the success that I've had. I know you can have it, and I'm here to support you on that journey. So it's really great value. Imagine how many clients you need to book through Twitter to recoup the cost of that investment. I'm imagining it's probably less than 1 for most people listening. So less than 1 client. I so know how easy that is to find, and you can get lifetime access to all my Twitter resources. So some frequently asked questions at the bottom there for you, and I would like to just finish by saying that I do offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, and that is because my intention with Fame 140 is to have everybody absolutely over the moon to be involved in the group. I don't want people feeling like they're not getting value for their money. So if for any reason at all you change your mind, you can take advantage of my no questions asked money-back guarantee. All you have to do is drop me an email and tell me you want your money back, and I'll send it back. And that's the end of that. So you can go and check this out for yourself. I think I have a way of sharing a link with you. I'm going to just check that now. Opening Showcase. I think I can send you a link. So I'm going to see. I don't know if I can or not. I haven't tried that before. I'm stopping sharing the screen to see if I can send you the link, but it's not really playing ball. The link is items will appear when you add them. I don't know how I do it. Anyway, okay, the link is famein140.com. Super easy, famein140.com. You can go on over there right now. The clock is ticking on my 7 last days of offering it at this introductory rate. I am so excited to be able to share this with you because I had so many amazing questions today that I'm planning almost entire new modules now for what Fame 140 will want to evolve into. I would be delighted to have you join me. I'm planning lots and lots of engagement in the Facebook group over the weekend. If you're on the fence and you're thinking about it and you've got questions, you can email me. You've all had an email from me today, so you can reply to that email. Ask me any questions. You can find me on Facebook to ask me questions. And I look forward to welcoming you and helping you find your people on Twitter. Thank you so much for joining me live, and I am going to stop the broadcast and look forward to answering more of your questions.